Today in reading, we're going to be discussing author's purpose. So far, we have learned that purpose is why we do something. So when we set out to clean the kitchen, our purpose is to clean the kitchen, make sure it's clean enough that we can cook and eat from our kitchen countertops. So that is our purpose. When an author sets out to write an article or a text of some kind, they also have a purpose. Our job as a reader is to recognize the purpose based on how the author wrote it. So we always ask ourselves this question: why would an author write this? What purpose does it serve? Why did they do it? This is how we determine author's purpose. So today we're going to be reading an article called Musical Instruments. It is a nonfiction passage. And yesterday I told you that in nonfiction, the author's main purpose is to give us information. So keep that in mind. You're going to need it. But then when we read this, we need to figure out what kind of information did the author really want us to have. So this is our goal today, is to figure out the author's purpose for writing this. So I'm going to read this first paragraph with you. When you go into your ClassKick pages on the next slide, I've gone ahead and recorded the reading so that you can listen to it. I would like you to please read along with me. This is good practice. This passage is on third grade reading level, so it's good practice for us to read together. But we're going to talk about author's purpose. So let's read this first one. Musical instruments is our title. A musical instrument is something that you use to produce a sound. Sound is made when things vibrate or move back and forth quickly. Different kinds of instruments produce different sounds. Most musical instruments can be grouped into 4 main families. Okay, take a minute and think about what we just read. What is this article going to be about? That's right. It's going to be about musical instruments. It's the title. It's also stated in the passage. It tells us what it is. And then it also tells us they can be grouped into 4 main families. I'm going to highlight the whole sentence. So this article is going to be talking about musical instruments and how they're broken into 4 main families. That's also the main idea of the entire article. So what purpose did the author have for writing this? Why would an author sit down and write a piece about musical instruments and the families that they go into, the 4 main families? Well, obviously, the author would like us to know the information about the 4 different types of families that a musical instrument can be placed into. So the author's purpose for writing this was to give the reader information on the 4 main families that instruments can be grouped into. That was their whole purpose for writing this. And then they go on to give us details about each one of the families. So on the next page, you're going to finish reading the article, and then at the end of, or at the bottom of both pages, there are questions that you need to answer. So there are 4 questions for this article. I look forward to seeing how you understand author's purpose. Please remember, all of the questions you're going to be answering are about this article, musical instruments. Okay, have fun reading.